champions, there's no place like home. The Giants are 5-5 at home, but they've displayed a flair for the dramatic, with 3 of those wins coming in their final at-bat. Last night, they beat the Rockies in a National League West showdown, game 1 of the series. Tonight, more magic? We'll find out coming up next. We're at 24 Willie Mays Plaza in downtown San Francisco, home of the Giants. Tonight, game 2 of the series, the Rockies and the world champion Giants. Brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity is TV, internet, and voice services that work together so you can enjoy everything you love, anytime, anywhere, and any way you want. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. What a night last night, Willie Mays' 80th birthday party, and then a dramatic come-from-behind victory by the Giants, 4-3 the final. Now, they try to extend their early success against the Rockies. They're 3-1 against the first-place Rocks. However, a bit of unfinished business tonight. Madison Bumgarner on the hill. He has yet to win a game.
Well, it's hard to believe. I mean, he comes into this game 0-5 and is probably one of the best 0-5 pitchers in the history of baseball. His last road trip, he had 2 starts against Pittsburgh and Washington, 13 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 1 earned run, and he gets 2 losses. So what he needs is a couple of runs. Unfortunately, the Giants are starting to hit a little bit, so if they could get him some early runs, maybe he could relax, and maybe he could get that long-lost first win of the season. He needs it badly.
All right, so Bumgarner on the hill for the Giants against Mortensen for the Rockies. And right now we're going to go down to our colleague, NBC Bay Area news anchor, Raj Mathai. Raj?
John and Mike, good evening. To say the least, this has been a strange start of the season for the Giants, a disproportionate amount of games on the road, and then all the pomp and circumstance here at home, all those elaborate pregame ceremonies. Really, for the players, it's been hard to establish a groove and a routine. But that all changes really tonight, phase 2 of the season. A lot more games here at AT&T Park and no more pregame ceremonies. But it was nice to see Willie Mays last night. The players are excited. They're ready to go. Let's see if they can have some more late-game heroics like we saw last night. The Giants trailing the first-place Rockies as we enter tonight's game by 3 games in the National League West. We are ready to play some baseball. Lineups and first pitch coming up next right here from AT&T Park on NBC Bay Area and the Giants Television Network.
And here we go. Madison Bumgarner's first pitch of the night is called a strike. Knee high on the outside corner to Dexter Fowler. Actually started a little bit early. Just a bit low on the outside as he aimed for that same spot. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dexter Fowler hitting .270. No homers and 11 runs batted in. Bumgarner got in the hands. Hit sharply but right to Fontenot and out by a step. 1 away. So Fowler leading off in center field. The rest of the Rockies batting order with Alfredo Amezaga coming up next. Second base, Carlos Gonzalez. Slugging left fielder, Troy Tulowitzki. Slugging shortstop, Todd Helton at first. Jose Lopez at third. Ryan Spilborghs hit 7th in right. Chris Iannetta the catcher. And Clayton Mortensen the pitcher batting 9th against Madison Bumgarner. Amezaga, switch hitter, shows bunt, takes a called strike. Amezaga hitting .251 in his career so far this year. 2 for 7. And the curveball in there. Strike 2 call.
Nice breaking ball. It's important to establish all your off-speed pitches early in the game.
0-2. And a broken bat, and it goes foul just in front of the bag.
Madison Bumgarner on the hill tonight for the Giants. 4.75 ERA, 23 strikeouts against 12 walks, 34 hits and 30 in the third. He's still looking for his first win. Hard to believe. 0-5. When you look at the type of stuff that he's been running up there, lefties he's been eating up, hitting .235. A fastball that'll go 91, 95 depending on the grip. They'll have a natural cut that'll break a lot of bats if you've seen 2 of them broken already. Curveball, a slider, a cutter, and a changeup.
That's back out of play. And still 0-2.
A good, healthy, mean streak.
Still 2 strikes to Amezaga. You mentioned how he has done well against lefties. Only 2 lefties in the Rockies batting order. There's the curve, and it bounced into the glove of Posey, who tags out Amezaga, out number 2.
Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Madison Bumgarner tonight. The Giants starting in your outfield. We'll set it up with Burrell in left, Aaron Roan at center. Make sure it's over to right. Mike Fontenot staying steady at shortstop, joined by Tejada on the left side, Sanchez and Huff on the right side, and Buster Posey. Well, he'll be in the squat putting down the signs for Madison Bumgarner. And that is your Giants D.
Judah nobody on, and the young slugger Carlos Gonzalez to the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Gonzalez off to a poor start this year. .239 average, 2 home runs, 16 batted in. Remember last year, his real breakout year, he had 34 homers and 117 RBIs. He takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. He also, in addition to the power numbers and run production numbers, hit a cool .336. So he was pretty good just about any which way you looked at it, as well as a strong defensive presence in the outfield. Aubrey Huff, Bumgarner over to cover, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down, an 11-pitch inning for Bumgarner. Last of the first, Giants coming up. Rockies nothing. The Giants coming up for another big crowd here at AT&T Park. The Giants batting order now brought to you by Jeep. The things we make us. For the Giants, it'll be Aaron Rowand in center. Freddie Sanchez, last night's hero, at second. Mike Fontenot is at shortstop. In the last 9 games, hitting .357, and he has gotten on base more than half the time in his first 4 games as the third place hitter. Posey, the catcher, hits cleanup. Huff at first, Burrell in left. Scherholtz, another one of the heroes last night. He tied the game with a double in the 8th inning with 2 down. He's in right. Tejada at third hits 8th. Bumgarner the pitcher. Clayton Mortensen on the mound for Colorado, and he's got a little bit of a different delivery than a lot of pitchers that you'll face.
He's got a little crossover step and kind of a low 3/4 release. He's got some funk to him.
2-0.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Clayton Mortensen. And those numbers against the Giants, I mean, he's had 2 games and dazzled the Giants when they saw him in Colorado. He sent back down, just recently recalled when Esmil Rogers went on the disabled list. Morton, 6'4", 185-pounder out of Rexburg, Idaho. In his first year at the big league level, 25 years old. When he's right, you're going to see a lot of ground balls. Got a good heavy sinker. And it'll go 90, 92, somewhere in there with a slider and a changeup.
And that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Aaron Rowand to get the Giants started.
Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Mortensen. Gonzalez, Fowler, and Spilborghs, that's your outfield. Tulowitzki and Lopez on the left side. Amezaga and Helton on the right side. And Chris Iannetta that we in the squad putting down the signs for the Rockies. And that's your defense for Colorado.
Mortensen out of Gonzaga University. He's had other big league experience in the past with other organizations. As Rowand dives back to the bag. Todd Helton on the bag with him. He originally had been with the Cardinals and then acquired by the A's in a trade. And then he was designated for assignment by Oakland and ultimately traded to Colorado back in January of this year. Right there for a called strike to Freddie Sanchez.
And when you have a sinker baller who's, high 80s, low 90s, that's a durable arm that you can do a lot of things with. Now Mortensen can spot start. He can come out of the bullpen. He can come into an existing inning and get you a ground ball, get you out of a problem. If you're a pitcher, you want to get to the big leagues quick, have a good sinker.
Rowand back to the bag again. Mortensen, when the Giants saw him back in April, it was April 18th at Coors Field. They had an 8-0 lead after 3 innings. That's when Mortensen came on in relief of Esmil Rogers, and he only allowed 2 hits and 1 walk, rather 2 walks in his 6 innings. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. He had just been brought up to fortify the Rockies bullpen, which had been torn up a little bit before the Giants had arrived in town, and he did just what they hoped he would in that long relief assignment. He gave the rest of the bullpen a night off. The Giants won the ball game nonetheless in a blowout. There goes Rowand. I don't know how he hit that ball. He almost hit it into an out. He certainly protected Rowand as the ball was just foul.
Well, when the hit and run's on, you're in the batter's box, you have to swing. You hope you get a good pitch. This thing was right up and in. You could see what kind of swing he had to put on it, but I mean, that's your job. You have to swing. And you're going to see a lot of hit and runs with Mortensen. In that 6-inning outing against the Giants, he threw a lot of ground balls. When he's down around the knees with that sink, that's what you're going to see. So if you have a man on first base, you're Bruce Bochy, you're going to start that runner to stay out of double plays.
1-2 the count. Rowand still at first. Base hit to left field. He hit that one, a low liner that hit the ground early on. So Freddie Sanchez with another hit, including the one he had last night to end the game.
Well, it's our Ford Right Choice, brought to you by Ford, the right choice for California. See your California Ford dealer or visit yourcaliforniaford.com today. And he talked about it after the game when the people here at the ballpark started chanting his name. Freddie. It inspired him. His approach was back up the middle, and he cashed in and sent everybody home happy.
Well, that was a great moment because he had been struggling. And he said after the game, he said, hey, I just had 4 terrible at-bats. He'd only had 3 hits in 24 at-bats up to that moment. And then all of a sudden, with the crowd right behind him, he hit the base hit to end it. Fontenot, there's a tag. No, he didn't get him. He missed him. So they only get the 1 out.
That's a huge break.
Fontenot retired, but he moves up the runners. It was Alfredo Amezaga trying to get him.
And some good dodgeball right there by Freddie Sanchez to avoid the tag. And Amezaga, I mean, you've got to make sure you get this out. That's the most important out. You can see the swipe. He missed him by a foot. So a productive out, and now they take away the force.
I mean, it also looked like Amezaga still could have turned around and thrown him out at second with the force out. But instead, through to first, the Giants have second and third, 1 out, and Buster Posey at the plate. Wow, that one just disappeared. Strike 1. Posey hitting .250, 4 homers, 18 batted in. He knocked in the Giants' first run last night on a night when they were having a hard time getting any hits at all against Ubaldo Jimenez, much less any runs. No score. Runners at second and third. And fouled off the right field line into the second deck.
Well, how do you beat sink from a right-hander? If you're a right-handed hitter, you have an inside-out approach, and that's the natural swing of Buster Posey. And like any sinker baller, you look for something up, although with 2 strikes you have to expand your zone a little bit.
0-2 the count. Infield backed up. Runners at second and third. Well, that was the pitch with which he fooled him to start this sequence. This time Buster would not be fooled.
All right, this little one is feeling it. I like that hat.
The World Series trophy hat. You think that's homemade? I think it's homemade.
I think it is. He spent some time on it. Job well done. I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that.
Up the middle. That'll get a run home. Tulowitzki's only plays to first. And Buster Posey, just as he did last night in the 6th inning of the game, finds a way to get it done. It's 1-0 Giants.
Well, time for the key ingredients for this game. They're brought to you by Round Table. Where there's flame, there's flavor with Round Table's new fire roasted pizzas. Let Round Table fire one up for you today. Number 1, get Bumgarner some runs like they just did. Number 2, look up with the sinker baller Mortensen. And as always, play clean D, especially when a guy who's looking for his first V.
The sinker runs off the outside, down and away, 1 ball and no strikes to Aubrey Huff. The 19th RBI of the season for Posey. Skies one to center. Fowler in a little bit, and the inning is over. But the Giants score first. Bumgarner back to the hill. Tulowitzki coming up. Giants 1, Rockies nothing. Second inning coming up, and there are some people who couldn't, I guess, make it to Churchill Downs today.
Some people on a horse.
They came ready for the Derby anyway. Looks like the owners of that horse and the jockey, probably the trainer. That's ball one from Bumgarner to Tulowitzki.
Well, that's one of the great traditions of the Kentucky Derby. The women wear the great hats. Yep. Good idea. Having some fun.
She could have been at the Derby. She could have been at the royal wedding in London. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tulowitzki. Miguel Tejada. Tulowitzki retired. That's 4 in a row. Retired by Bumgarner.
All right, let's check out Toyota by the numbers. Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer, period. The most efficient full-line auto manufacturer. I got that right, partner. Well, Madison Bumgarner's last 2 starts, 0-2, 0.69 ERA, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts, 2 Ls. That's not right.
There's ball 1 to Todd Helton. Todd Helton, the veteran, feeling in much better condition. He's had some back problems that have really limited his effectiveness. Last year, the worst year by far of his career. This year, hitting .315. Not a big power threat, but 92 at bats, 3 home runs. On the outside for a strike, and it's 2-1.
Always so impressed with the opposite field approach that Helton has against left-handed pitching.
Now 3-1. Helton, .366 on base average. And generally, you don't get many 1-2 pitch at bats out of Helton. He's going to work you, make you throw a lot of pitches, and he gets to the 2-strike count. He'll do that a lot. Foul pitches away. It's usually a battle when you face Todd Helton.
Oh, it's always a battle. He never phones in at bat. I have nothing but admiration with the way this guy goes about his business in that batter's box. True pro right here.
3-2. Right to Freddie Sanchez. Wow. That ball was smoked at Freddie.
Well, if you're going to pitch a good game, you need to have a few atom balls. So that's a good sign. Let's take a look at the Giants' defensive coverage. It's brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the fastest 4G network in America. And half of a great play is always pre-pitch positioning. And Ron Wotus had Freddie Sanchez right where he needs to be.
2 down. Jose Lopez now in for a strike.
You're going to get a pretty good strike zone tonight. Dan Bellino's a low balls umpire. Now, he's not a guy that's going to give you much if it goes outside the catcher's knees. But if you hit your catcher all night long, you'll get strikes. And you can get some width on that strike zone.
Ball on a strike. Overcast here in San Francisco. Wind blowing out. That ball spanked foul right by Rich Dower, the third base coach. 1-2 the count.
Now, if you're playing third base behind Madison Bumgarner like Miguel Tejada tonight, you got to be on your toes, especially when the right-handed hitters are up there. The fastball that Bumgarner throws will have cutting action, and a lot of the right-handers will just hit that ball to the left side right down the line. And the same thing can be said with his breaking balls as well. A lot of action going to go by way of Tejada tonight.
Giants ahead 1-0, 2 down, nobody on. A little bit low.
Good pitch though.
2-2 to Jose Lopez. Lopez been in the American League, having a hard time getting adjusted to the National League, hitting only 141 in a 78 at bat stretch. Curveball, Freddie Sanchez, and 6 in a row retired by Bumgarner to start this night. 1-0 Giants. Pat Burrell coming up.
Giants dugout, we have some notable news in Major League Baseball today. Justin Verlander of the Detroit Tigers, here's the final out of a no-hitter. He no-hits the Toronto Blue Jays this game in Toronto earlier today, and he came close to a perfect game. In fact, he was one batter away, one walk away from a perfect game. Congratulations, though, nonetheless, to Justin Verlander, his second no-hitter of his career. And, gentlemen, this is the second no-hitter this week in baseball.
It's happening. There's a called strike to Pat Burrell. There was almost another one today, too. Giovanni Gallardo of the Brewers had a no-hitter going until late in the game. Right to the shortstop, Tulowitzki. He throws out Pat Burrell. There is one away. Justin Verlander, not too many pitchers might have ever pitched two no-hitters in a career.
Well, I think this guy has some of the best stuff that I've ever seen, and it's no surprise that he's throwing two no-hitters. I don't think he's done throwing them. I mean, he's got velocity that is high 90s at times in the hundreds, and two of the best specialty pitches, slider, changeup. I mean, they're just swing and miss everything. Congratulations.
Verlander, I saw a report that said he had a reading on the radar gun in the 9th inning at 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, no surprise.
0-1 to Nate Scherholtz. Look at the movement on that pitch from Mortensen. It started off the inside, and then all of a sudden it drifted back and over the plate.
Little front door sinker. You see it coming in and you freeze on it, and here comes the movement right back across the inside corner. Netta never moved his glove.
0-2.
That's
nasty.
That's a rough at bat. Two good sinkers and a back foot slider. Well, the Diamondbacks are coming to town on Tuesday. They'll be here 3 days, and Tim Lincecum will take on the D-backs Tuesday at 7:15. Then it's Filipino Heritage Night presented by Ligo brand sardines on Wednesday, a 7:15 Jonathan Sanchez start, and then Thursday is a 12:45 day baseball in the city game with Matt Cain.
Strike one to Tejada. 2 down, nobody on. The Giants ahead 1-0 here in the second inning. The last we heard, there were some tickets available in that series at sfgiants.com. This series was virtually sold out. While the Giants were on the road, we got word that this was going to be an extremely tough ticket. That one down and in with a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. An Arizona team which made a dramatic comeback of its own Thursday night against these Rockies. Another changeup that fooled him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They were down by 2 runs in the 9th inning, and Gerardo Parra and Chris Young both hit home runs against Houston Street to tie the game in the 9th, and then they won it in the 11th. 1-2. A real defensive swing, and Amezaga throws out Tejada. The Giants go down in order. 9-pitch inning for Mortensen. Bumgarner back to the hill, leading 1-0. All roads lead to AT&T Park, or so it might seem. Giants will be getting big crowds here at home as we look at the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, the western span coming in from Yerba Buena Island, as Madison Bumgarner misses with ball one to Ryan Spilborghs, 7th place hitter for the Rockies. He'll be followed by Chris Iannetta and then the pitcher Clayton Mortensen. 1-0 the Giants lead, and the fastball at 94 misses. It's 2-0. Spilborghs hitting 163, 8 for 49, does have 2 home runs. 3-0.
Boy, he really got underneath that last fastball.
Pours that one right through for a strike. Bumgarner, as you mentioned at the top of the telecast, has been outstanding in his last 2 starts, and he's been outstanding for much of his starts straight along, but has often had an inning where he just could not get things back together. They'd score 3-4 runs against him, and that kind of would ruin his day. 3-2 the count to Spilborghs. That had not been the problem the last couple of starts. There's a walk to Spilborghs to start the inning.
Just a bit high. Well, now it's time for Xfinity Future Focus, where we take an in-depth look at some of the Giant stars of tomorrow. And how about Brandon Belt? He went down to Fresno and in 13 games, hitting a cool .429 with a couple of homers, 12 RBIs, a .537 on base percentage, .690 slugging. And Gary Brown, last year's first-round pick in San Jose, in 28 games, hitting .345, 2 homers, 25 RBIs. Last night at Bakersfield, went 5 for 7 with 3 doubles and 6 RBIs. Wow. So a couple of the big boys tearing it up.
Brown, we saw him in spring training. He's extremely fast. Iannetta fouls one out of play. Strike one. Iannetta hitting .206, 4 homers, 12 batted in. Amazingly, the Rockies, and I say amazingly because they played their home games at Coors Field, one of the great hitters ballparks of all time, their team average is only .237. They have a lot of guys who've been struggling big time, and yet they lead the division. And you talk about struggling, their ace, the man we saw here last night, Ubaldo Jimenez, has not yet won a game. So there are a lot of things that have not gone real well for the Rockies, and yet they have the best record in the West, and they lead the Giants by 3 games in the standings. Jim Tracy came in a couple years ago, National League Manager of the Year. The Rockies had a dramatic turnaround that year. They're talking about a slow start. It was so slow, so painfully slow, that it got former manager Clint Hurdle fired. Hurdle, who this year took over the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-1 the count to Iannetta. Iannetta, who has a lot of power, 4 home runs this year. That's a double play ball. There's one and a double play.
That's the beautiful thing about Madison Bumgarner. He's got a lot of downward movement on his pitches, and he can get ground balls. And what he has learned to do in his young career is throw those pitches to try to get him on the ground. But if you're sitting there, a middle infielder, and you get this kind of a hop, that's a no contest turn right there. Bell high, thank you.
Fangino to Sanchez to Huff. 2 down, nobody on, and Mortensen takes a strike. Mortensen 0 for 2. He had 2 at-bats against the Giants back on April 18th. Rockies were so far behind in that game that Jim Tracy just said, the heck with it, and let Mortensen bat for himself 2 different times with his club down by a huge total. And he struck out both of those trips to the plate against Tim Lincecum.
Well, Jim Tracy took some heat for that, but his response was, look, I'm saving my bullpen. They were chewed on. This guy was throwing good. I had to let him go another couple of innings, and that's what I'd do again if it would happen tomorrow.
The inning is over. Second strikeout for Bumgarner, who's faced a minimum 9 in his first 3 innings. Wednesday, May the 25th, the 25th is Dynamite, a fundraiser for Keenan Cahill. Come out to the ballpark to support YouTube sensation Keenan Cahill. Dynamite. To see his famous video, the co-stars Cody Ross and Brian Wilson. Check it out on YouTube. All special event ticket holders will receive a Cody Ross Boss jersey tee. And the proceeds, many of the proceeds will benefit the Keenan Cahill Fund. To get your special tickets, call 415-972-2298. 415-972-2298.
It is a fantastic video, and if you haven't seen it, go to sfgiants.com and check it out.
2 strikes to Bumgarner, and a slider low and outside for a ball. 1-2.
Plus, it's a good song.
That ball really ran right in on Bumgarner. He is gone, 1 away.
Well, let's go to Xfinity Game Vision. Remember, the Xfinity Game Vision, you too can control the action at home, controlling the video using play, pause, fast forward, and rewind. Last night, Aaron Rowan, diving catch in the first inning. You talk about getting the crowd into the game early. And he robs Carlos Gonzalez from a base hit. Xfinity Game Vision is powered by Xfinity TV with On Demand, the only place you can catch complete replays of every Giants game all season long. Just tune to Channel 1.
Rowan hitting one just foul down the left field line. Well, in a game like last night's game, there are all sorts of little things that happen that can be overlooked, but you would be hard pressed to say any one of them was not critical to the Giants' chances of making that comeback victory. That kept Gonzalez from perhaps extra bases, with Troy Tulowitzki coming up next. Back in the first inning last night, and who knows what might have happened. Tulowitzki had to wait to come up in the second inning, and he hit a home run when he finally did get up there.
Well, it's easy to get tired when you're coming off a 10-day road trip and you have a 6-hour flight back into San Francisco, and then you have no day off. You go right into a night game, and you can be a little bit lethargic. And I thought that play really energized the club. Usually it's runs, triples, home runs that get a crowd into a game, that get the flow going in a ballpark. But you can do it with a defensive play like Aaron Rowan did on that particular effort.
2-2. Struck him out with that changeup.
That is a good changeup. You talk about selling it with good arm action. You can see why the Rockies are high on this guy. It amazes me that this guy bounced around, although I don't think he had this pitch, this changeup, when he was in St. Louis or in Oakland. Usually you see a sinker slider guy, it's pretty much one speed, sinker slider. But when you come up with a changeup like him, now all of a sudden you got a swing and miss pitch. Now he not only can get the ground ball, he can get the strikeout.
He had originally been with the Cardinals as a supplemental first-round draft choice, and then he was part of the trade between the Cardinals and the A's that sent Matt Holliday to St. Louis. Oakland got him in that deal. Right center field. Spielborg's out into the wide open spaces. That ball was hit pretty well. Wrong place to hit it. Top of the order coming up for the Rockies in the 4th.
Road game for the visiting Colorado Rockies, but really it's a home game for Troy Tulowitzki. Here is his dad, Ken Tulowitzki, in their home in the South Bay in Santa Clara. It's really a shrine, a Troy Tulowitzki shrine inside this house from his days at Fremont High School in Sunnyvale, also his college days at Long Beach State, and then now in the Major League career here with the Colorado Rockies. And Troy Tulowitzki, a huge part of this franchise in the offseason, just signed a 10-year deal with the Rockies worth almost $160 million. Gentlemen?
Tulo, they call him in Colorado, as they count to Dexter Fowler. Is strike one. That one on appeal, ruled to swing by Jim Joyce, the first base umpire. Fowler takes strike two. He grounded a short his first time against Bumgarner. 1-0. The Giants are leading. So apparently we're being told now that Jim Joyce said he did not swing at that first pitch. So the count, more correctly, 2-1. That's a base hit. And the first hit of the game for Colorado.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Carl's Jr., introducing the under 500 calorie charbroiled turkey burgers. They don't taste healthy, and that's just the way it is. New at Carl's Jr.
So Dexter Fowler aboard, and Bumgarner will have to keep an eye on him. Fowler, very fast, although he has only 2 steals so far this year. Alfredo Amezaga comes up, switch hitter. He struck out his first time. He's a guy they like to hit and run with.
Bumgarner has an excellent move.
And he had Fowler jumping back to the bag as that pitch came to the plate. Ball one, though. Aubrey Huff on the bag with him. Giants scored in the first inning, an RBI by Buster Posey. Rowan had walked. Sanchez had singled. Again, he was moving back to first as Bumgarner threw that pitch, but he's missed with both pitches. It's 2-0.
Well, there's one-way moves. He is just not picking them up. They know he has a good move, and he has not got any kind of an idea as to when he's coming home or when he's going to first. He looked at Glenn Allen Hill.
There's a strike. 2-1 now.
Fowler looked over at Glenn Allen Hill, the Rockies' first base coach, as if to say, I don't have it.
Glenn Allen Hill, the former Giant from Santa Cruz, now the first base coach for the Rockies. So now it's 2-1, and a lot of teams like to set things in motion with a 2-1 count. So we'll keep an eye on Fowler here.
Such a great shot to be able to see a guy's lead as he inches off.
He's running. Posey's throw, the tag, behind the back tag. Freddie Sanchez, and he got him.
You don't see it very often. But what a great unload from Buster Posey. It's time for our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play. It's brought to you by your Bay Area Lexus dealers. And Buster Posey had to throw right over the head or through the head of Bumgarner. And look at how Sanchez gets the ball and turns and puts the tag on. I wouldn't recommend that.
It really was like Sanchez wasn't even at the bag yet. That ball's out of play, and it's 2-2 the count.
All kinds of obstacles for Buster Posey. Bumgarner kind of the deer in the headlights. Get down, Madison. Throws a strike. Got there in such a hurry that Sanchez had an easy time to turn around and apply the tag. Wow, that was some kind of throw by Posey. Our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play.
2-2 to Amezaga. And a full count now. And part of that was going back to Fowler, just not getting any kind of a read on the move of Bumgarner. He had a horrible jump. And even with the very odd tag by Sanchez, he was out by plenty. And strike 3, Amezaga strikes out for the second time.
He just didn't get a jump at all. I mean, he had lean going back to first base. And now that explains as to why the Giants had so much time to apply the tag. But you could see that Bumgarner, when he gets gathered to throw, it looks like he's come over to first base, and it holds a guy at first base.
2 down, nobody on. Here is Carlos Gonzalez trying to get himself going here. And the curve is too high for ball 1.
I mean, Bumgarner has a huge swing. When he drops back, separates his hands, and gets gathered off his back leg, his upper body really bends and twists. And that, when you're out of the stretch position, is what holds the runner. That, if you're in the batter's box, is what is so difficult to pick up early. You don't see his ball early. Very deceptive delivery.
Fowler talking to manager Jim Tracy.
And I think Tracy's telling him, listen, if you don't have a jump, you don't go.
That's a high foul that will head back into the crowd with Tejada giving chase. 1-2.
Now, base runners at first base, they'll have the green light like a Fowler, leadoff hitter with good speed. If he gets a good jump on a pitcher, he'll go. That's his decision. And then a manager will have a must-go sign where he insists that you're going to go on the next pitch no matter what jump you get.
1-2. Tejada. And the inning is over. Gonzalez is 0 for 2. Vacino, Posey, Aubrey Huff coming up.
Well, for everything Giants, check out NBCBayArea.com and search for The Cove. Deep coverage of the team, the players, the opponents to watch, even a peek into the iconic ballpark. The Cove on NBCBayArea.com.
There's a duck boat out on the waters on a windy night in San Francisco as Mike Fontenot takes ball 1.
Those are very cool.
Mortensen, the hitter, or the pitcher, and the hitter, Fontenot, drills one right to Helton. So Fontenot is now 0 for 2.
Another good at bat. It seems like that's all you're getting out of Fontenot these days is good at bat after good at bat. They give you a duck build shaped kazoo when you get on there, and you can play it as you are in the water and tour San Francisco. It's hysterical.
Strike 1 to Buster Posey. Posey grounded out, but he knocked in what is still the only run of the game. That was back in the first inning. Giants ahead 1-0. And that changeup is low. Are those people checking out Buster Posey or the duck boat?
I think they're checking out Buster Posey.
Just off the outside. 2-1. I used to bring my binocs to the ballpark. I still do. 2-1 the count. And the slider for a strike. Oh, is that the duck-billed kazoo?
That's the kazoo. He's into it. I mean, the whole concept is all about fun, and you definitely will have a good time going on the duck boats.
Change-up misses. 3-2 now to Buster Posey. Mortensen has walked one. That one walk eventually scored. The one walk has him trailing now 1-0 by extension. There is Tulowitzki. 2 down here in the 4th.
Giants baseball is brought to you by the things we make us Jeep.
There's a small crew out there patrolling the waters in McCovey Cove as Aubrey Huff stands in. Flight out to center his first time. 1 ball and no strikes. Andre Ethier with his hitting streak on the line tonight in New York. Andre has just gone down in the 8th inning in the game against the Mets. Struck out swinging on a low slider away from a left-hander, and he is 0 for 4 in that game. Off the glove of Todd Helton. Aubrey Huff going to try for 2, and he's going to make it easily.
Just under the glove of the normally sure-handed Todd Helton, and he looked at his glove as if his best friend had just betrayed him. We saw this again in last night's ball game. Just a seed going down, and Helton did not have a whole lot of time. Tried to slide into a backhand. He's still trying to figure out how he didn't catch that ball. So with 2 outs, the Giants get a runner in scoring position.
So Pat Burrell to try and knock him in. Burrell, who probably for the whole night had the Giants' best plate appearances straight through the game. He had 3 walks against Jimenez and then hit a double that fueled that game-tying rally in the 8th. 0-1. Pat Burrell, and he has not just been a fine hitter for the Giants, but he's been a great presence in the clubhouse, in the dugout. Check swing. He picked that one up. Tough slider that ended up out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pat the Bat. He's been around a long time, and he has become a resource for some of the other younger Giants hitters and veterans alike who will pick his brain. Mortensen in off the corner, 2-1.
He's a smart player. I mean, you can see it in the batter's box, the way he thinks, the way he sets up an at bat, the way he'll look for a pitch. You see it in the outfield when he can really cut an angle off going for a gapper. The way he positions himself with players, you see it in the base pass. I mean, he's a smart player.
Base hit can mean a run. Huff at second, 2 down, 2-1 the count. Fouled it off his foot, that sinker.
You know, in the first inning, Clayton Mortensen opened up, and he had a lot of mistakes up, and the Giants got him for a run, and it could have been worse. I mean, he kind of pitched out of it. He had runners in second, third, 1-out situation, just allowed the 1 run. But since the first inning, if you look at where he's missed below the strike zone, and he's nailed knee-high strikes consistently. He's got his sights down, and guys are having a tough time elevating him.
2-2. Huff away from second. And that change up in the dirt, knocked down by Ionetta. Good work keeping Huff at second.
Yeah, that's a nice blocking technique. That's the one thing for young catchers. Once the ball goes in the dirt, your chest protector is your glove. All the mitt is just something to block the hole between your legs. And this is exactly how you do it. And that one came up. That was not an easy one to block. Excellent technique there by Ionetta, the catcher for the Rockies.
He's out chatting with Mortensen now, with Burrell, who's had an excellent series at the plate. Nate Sherholtz, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. Three and two the count. Huff ready to run at the crack of the bat from second with 2 down. That is yanked foul into the crowd off the left field line.
Mortensen wanted to throw a strike. He elevated just a little bit. Burrow had a good rip at it. That's what you're looking for with sinkers. You're looking for something that drops in right there about, I'd say 4 to 8 inches above the knees. That's what you're looking for, the mistake up.
We'll try it again. 3 and 2. And he lunged at that off-speed pitch and pops it foul out of play off to the right. Fan made the catch down there wearing a Giants jersey.
That was a Buster Posey jersey. So you buy that jersey and put on a Posey jersey, there's responsibility. You better make those plays. All right, let's watch the effort. Nice hands, that a bit.
The battle continues. Mortensen and Pat Burrell, 3 and 2. Ball 4, and it didn't miss by much.
Well, Dan Bellino, though, has been consistent, and he did the same thing for a situation in the 3rd inning with Madison Bumgarner. His walk to Ryan's billboard was a similar type location. It was right at the belt. You're not going to get those with Bellino. But nice at bat from Burrell. You will get some strikes called against you that are lower than other umpires, but you won't have those belt eyes work against you. It really is a pitcher strike zone.
2 on, 2 out. With 2 down and nobody on, Aubrey Huff doubled. Now Burrell has drawn a walk. And here's Nate Sherholtz. He knocked in a couple in the 8th inning last night. And it's ball 1. Nate had quite a determined at bat in that 8th inning against the veteran Rafael Betancourt. And finally he drilled one right past third down the left field line, and that tied the ball game. Giants were in need of a clutch hit, and he provided it at long last. That had him out in the front foot, the changeup, and Mortensen gets the put on. 2 men stranded for the Giants. They lead 1-0. Tulowitzki coming up. Giants 1, Rockies none as we head to the 5th inning. The Giants with 2 hits, Colorado with 1. And the Rockies big slugger Troy Tulowitzki to lead off. He's got 8 home runs, 18 batted in. He hit a home run here last night against Matt Cain. Bumgarner, a strike. Tulowitzki grounded out to third his first time.
That's a pitch you really kind of give up on if you're a right-hander hitting off the lefty. Bumgarner starts way out off the plate away, and you just see it as being outside, and it just keeps working back to the strike zone. Great way to steal a strike and get on top of the hitter. 0-1.
A ball and a strike now to Troy Tulowitzki. A lot of people believe that he is not just on top of his game right now, but he's on top of the world as a shortstop. That just all around, he's the best shortstop in the game. That is a called strike with a curveball, and it's 1-2.
Well, he is the face of this franchise and will be for the next decade at least. And he's a force. He's a force with the glove. He's a force with the bat. He's a force in the clubhouse. Kind of guy you build around.
Broken bat. Man, that bat just exploded. And then a bad hop bouncing away from Fontenot. He'll be charged with an error. Most of that bat ends up trailing the ball out onto the infield.
Really runs up the bat, blows up his Maplewood, and watch that ball come up, hit on the heel of the glove of Fonda, who's really been playing a very sure-handed shortstop. So now Bumgarner going to try and pitch through an error.
The Giants lead the Rockies 1-0 here in the 5th. Tulowitzki, who's an excellent base runner, just a bit low, and that seemed to surprise Buster Posey. 1 ball and no strikes to Todd Helton, who lined out to Freddie Sanchez, the second baseman, his first time. The Giants ahead 1-0 here in the 5th. That he got the call.
See, I think that's a pitch that the catcher got for the pitcher. It's pretty much the same location. By making a case in a polite way, umpire may give you the benefit of the doubt. The second time you see it, lo and behold, the next pitch you get it. Thank you very much, Buster Posey.
Strike 2. Now, what would pass for a polite questioning of an umpire's call?
Well, I think you just make comment of it, in a positive way. You say, I think that may have been a good pitch, instead of just going, what are you thinking about? That ball is way strike. Clown.
Struck him out, and he got Helton to look bad, which you don't see very often. Chasing a pitch well up out of the zone.
Well, think about how the at-bat went. The low part of the zone was established. Then he changes sight lines and goes right above the letters across the plate. See you later. And that just chewed him up. Both elbows bent. That's abusive.
For a strikeout for Bumgarner. Tulowitzki still at first. Here is Jose Lopez. Giants ahead 1-0 in the 5th inning. Tulo back to the bag. So it could be he did it very politely, saying on the pitch, whoa, I thought that was pretty close. You've been calling an excellent game. That one I thought maybe you would call a strike. I was a little surprised.
Mr. Umpire.
Sir. Base hit for Lopez with Tulowitzki over to second.
Well, the latest installment in Comcast Sportsnet Legends series, the career of Willie Mays, told by the man himself. Legends, Willie Mays, tomorrow on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area after Giants postgame live. Special guests will include Hall of Famers Hank Aaron, Joe Morgan, John Miller, and Tommy Lasorda. Replay at 9:30.
80th birthday party last night. Here's Ryan Spilborghs, who walked his first time. Right-handed hitter, he's got some pop in his bat. 2 men on. First time the Rockies have gotten a runner as far as second base. Bumgarner's only allowed 2 hits now. Spilborghs hitting only 163. He's off to a real slow start. Fontenot at short. Sanchez at second. Pulled in a bit. Double play depth. And that's too high. 2-0. So Bumgarner in a tight spot for the first time tonight. The error allowing Tulowitzki to reach by Fontenot. Then a 1-out single by Lopez. 2 on, 1 out.
Boy,
2-1.
nice 2-0 pitch. And Spielberg steps out of the box thinking, what happened there? You get count leverage sitting on a 2-0 count. When you're second at bat of the night, you think you got a pretty good idea what this guy's got, and you swing through a pitch like that. Makes you talk to yourself.
Back with the slider or cutter, and it's 2-2.
I think that's a cutter, and it's a good one. It's definitely impressed Spielberg's, and that's a pitch that he'll also get ground balls with. But again, if you're an infielder on the left side of the infield, be on your toes, because that's the pitch that gets a ground ball coming your way.
2-2 the count. Ionetta on deck. Bumgarner has induced one double play grounder. That was from Ionetta after Spielberg's led off the third inning, drawing a walk. On the hands, could be two. Tejada to second one. Sanchez to first. A double play, and the inning is over. 1-0 Giants. Tejada coming up.
A lot like the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Giants now with a national following. And with that said, they got to let that get a little national exposure. Matt Cain, a few days ago, hanging out with Matt Lauer and the Today Show gang. This was in New York City. Cain having fun, waking up early, actually talking a lot about breast cancer awareness as part of Mother's Day. And yes, Mother's Day is tomorrow. And at the ballpark, a lot of the Giants and a lot of people around Major League Baseball will be using a lot of pink bats, pink batting gloves, pink spikes, the whole deal. So tomorrow it'll be a pink day for Mother's Day. Make sure you take care of your mom. Gentlemen, back up to you.
All right. And we expect to see a lot of families out here treating mom to a game and a day with the fam right here at the ballpark as Tejada leads off against Mortensen. Check swing, called a strike.
All right, there's mom. Oh, yeah, we do ballpark exercises. They love the Giants.
I like that one. That's yanked foul right over to the Giants dugout. And that was headed right toward Bill Hayes.
Well, then it's an ugly finder. Billy Hayes, as good a baseball man as there is in baseball. And he can appreciate an ugly fighter. Look out, Billy.
0-2 the count. That changeup, he golfed it. Long throw. And he came off the bag. Tejada is safe. Jose Lopez had to make that long throw in a hurry. And he'll be charged with an error.
Just goes down and just digs out a low sinker to the backhand of Lopez. And we were impressed with Lopez defensively when we saw him in Colorado, especially with the accuracy of his arm. This is a little unusual. So the Giants catch a break.
Now Bumgarner in a bunting situation. Lopez will play shallow at third. Bunted foul. Bumgarner grounded out his first time. Now usually in this spot, Mike, you want the bunt to go to the first baseman because he gets a little later break right after holding against the runner.
Exactly. Now you have to know too that Helton's a very good throwing first baseman, one of the best in the game. And if he crashes too hard, Bumgarner will have the option to take the bunt off himself and do the butcher boy play, where he'll show bunt and then slash. So your corner infielders determine that, but ideally it should go down the first base side.
1 strike to count. And Bumgarner did start to spread the hands apart in the bat there as Mortensen was throwing the ball to first, or at least bluffing to do so.
Bumgarner is a good hitter.
He squares. And Mortensen's plays to first. That's Amezaga covering, and Tejada has been moved over to second. 1 away. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by your Northern California Honda dealers and the all-new 2012 Civic. Loaded with technology and delivering up to 44 miles per gallon. For details, visit shophonda.com. Red Sox over the Twins today. It was a no-hitter for Justin Verlander over the Blue Jays for the Tigers. The red-hot Rays over Baltimore. And the Athletics were beaten in Kansas City 4-3. Here's Rowan. He has walked and scored a run, the only run of the game up till now, and he has struck out just off the inside. Also in the American League, last of the 6th in Texas, the Rangers lead the Yankees 6-5. Home run from Michael Young. White Sox 1-0 over Seattle. Top of the 4th up in the Pacific Northwest. The Angels leading Cleveland 2-1. Last of the 4th in Anaheim. Aaron Rowan trying to knock in a run here. The Giants are 0 for 4 in their at-bats with runners in scoring position. That's foul. Change up that was up, but he was out in front of it. A ball and a strike. Aaron Rowan trying to knock in a run for the Giants. Rowan, .259 average for the year with runners in scoring position. And that just went up. Tejada is going to be held. Tejada did not get a real good jump as that ball hit in front of him, and he wanted to make sure that it went through.
Well, Carlos Gonzalez has a good, strong, accurate arm, and Tim Flannery knows that. He's not going to challenge. Not with 1 out. With 2 outs, you do. With 1 out, you let it get to the next guy. And you can see Tejada. He has to anticipate score. There you see the stop sign from Flannery. So keep that line moving, and now it's up to Freddie Sanchez, who's hot.
First and third, 1 out. Freddie Sanchez drove in the winner. The walk-off base hit in the last of the 9th inning last night. The Giants have won 5 games here at home in the young season. They haven't been home very much, but 3 of those 5 wins here in this ballpark have been in walk-off style, including last night. Freddie is singled and flied out deep to right center. Got the low strike on the outside. Pitcher's pitch big time right there.
Yeah, that definitely is a pitcher's pitch. And when Bellino misses one, he usually will miss it low like that.
Well, Freddie Sanchez, we heard some of the crowd starting that Freddie cheer, which they affected in the 9th inning last night before he got the game-winning hit. Yanked that one off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, with the way that they've opened up the right side with Todd Helton, the first baseman, holding the runner on, and the second baseman, Almezaga, is in double play positioning. There's a big hole on the side, and if they continuously pitch Freddie Sanchez away, he'll go that way. That's a target for him.
Tejada at third, Rowan at first. And Rowan back to the bag. That's something else to keep in mind here at some point. Bruce Bochy might start Rowan. We saw that back in the first inning when Rowan was aboard and Sanchez at the plate because of the sinker baller and the high possibility of a ground ball. A ball and a strike. Left center field. Into the alleyway. Cut off by Gonzalez. Tejada scores, and safe at second with a double, Freddie Sanchez.
Now Mortensen has not made many mistakes. He made a mistake here, getting one up, middle in, and that's a pitch that he'll take to the left side of the field. Comes right back in his wheelhouse. And he spanks it right in the gap. An easy score, and it sets up a big inning. Brought to you by the Volkswagen Going, Gone event. Great deals are here, but not for long. Visit VWDealer.com. Boy, I like the slide, too. That's going to bring up Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach for these Colorado Rockies. You take advantage of a mistake. You look up, and the Giants are in position to go big in this inning. An easy score for Tejada.
So Apodaca goes back to the dugout. Here's Freddie Sanchez at second. Rowan at third. So this is now a 2-0 game. And as you see the layout here, the Rockies bring the infield in. Not all the way in up the middle at this point. But a great opportunity for the Giants to lengthen that lead. So Fontenot's job, at least get that runner home from third with only one out. Fontenot is 0 for 2 in the game. Down the right field line, foul.
Boy, another mistake up. And right now, you don't want to make mistakes up to Fontenot. He's dialed. See the location right at the belt. Now, he's not a big guy, 5'8". Doesn't have much of a strike zone. And when you drop one at the belt, especially when he's hot, he's going to square it up.
Fontenot, since being installed in the number 3 spot in the order, has reached base 10 times in 20 plate appearances. 4 RBIs in 4 games as the number 3 hitter, too. Lunged at it. That low changeup. And Lopez in fair ground. So, disappointing plate appearance there for Fontenot, and that will leave it to Buster Posey. Let's take a look at the National League out-of-town scoreboard. The Dodgers trailing 4-2 to the Mets in the top of the 9th inning at Citi Field. And Andre Ethier hitless in that game, so it could well be his hitting streak has ended. Here's Buster Posey. He knocked in the Giants' first run with a ground out and is 0 for 2 in the game. He needs a hit to knock in a run here. Outside for ball 1.
Rockies have some activity down their bullpen. It's the big hard thrower Felipe Paulino starting to get greased up.
Rockies bullpen has worked a lot here lately. The extra inning game on Thursday in last night's game. Cubs beat the Reds today. Philadelphia shut out Atlanta. A near no hitter for Giovanni Gallardo. He did not allow a hit until the 8th inning. The only hit the Cardinals got. Descalso got the base hit. The Pirates beat Houston in Pittsburgh. Here the Giants lead 2-0 in the 5th inning. Runners at second and third. That was up. Taken for a ball. 2-0. Washington beat Florida 5-2. Arizona leading San Diego 6-0 down at Petco Park in the top of the 7th. That's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Good changeup.
Those other ball games. And Pridey having a big day for the Mets at Citi Field. 2-1 the count. A run is in for the Giants, but a great opportunity to really extend that lead right now. Posey is the Giants' RBI leader. He's knocked in 19 for the season. The wind blowing out toward left field. 2-1 the count. The high slider. 3-1. Aubrey Huff on deck. That's 73 pitches thrown by Mortensen. Just brought up for the minor leagues today for this start. Esmiel Rogers placed on the disabled list, the originally listed starter. 3-1. Threw him a changeup.
Boy, he threw a 2-0. He comes back and throws it again 3-1. It just gives you an idea how good that pitch is. Buster Posey has not seen it. And really, I don't think that pitch has been squared up all night long by any of the Giants. There you see Paulino, the big right-hander.
Rowan at third. Sanchez at second. Too low. And the bases are loaded.
Did you say too low? He's at shortstop. Good at bat for Posey. But you know what I mean? He had an open base. Mortensen did not have to just completely go after him and challenge him, but he does have to challenge Aubrey Huff.
So Aubrey Huff with a lot of RBIs to be had out there. 3 men on, 2 men out. Ball 1. The sinker. Huff has flied out to center and ripped a double past first. And just out of the reach of Todd Helton, who is deep right back near the outfield grass and over toward the line a bit.
Huff loves the bases loaded. 305 lifetime hitter. And he is a good hitter when he has count leverage. And he's got it now. Ahead 1-0.
There's that changeup.
Boy, I mean, they're not even fouling it off. That's how good that is. He threw a 2-0 to Posey, swing and miss. He threw a 3-1 to Posey, swing and miss. Here on a 1-0. And a 1-0 is when, you know, good hitters, RBI guys, they get greedy. And that's a swing and miss, not even a foul. That's how good that pitch is.
A ball and a strike. You got the call on that one. So now it's 1-2.
Again, the low zone of Bellino. Pitcher strike.
His changeup. And he fouled it. He's still alive. Just barely.
He caught a little piece of the red seam on the right side. I can see. If it made a noise, it was a little bitty one. So Aubrey Huff lives to see another pitch. Yeah, you heard it.
Even Ionetta had heard it and was trying to deke the umpire into thinking he'd caught it without a bounce. 1-2. Along the left field line and foul.
Well, that would have been a thing of beauty.
Well, he actually got a piece of that changeup that time.
I tell you, it's not easy. And you can see why the Rockies are high on this 24-year-old right-hander.
Rowan, Sanchez, Posey from third back to first, ready to run. And the 1-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 called. With that movement coming back to the plate. 1 is all they get, leading 2-0.
Well, the Giants will take a day off on Monday, and then it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of baseball against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Lincecum on the hill for a 7:15 Tuesday night game. There are tickets available. Then it's Sanchez on Wednesday and Matt Cain on a 12:45 day baseball game here in the city. And reminded that there are tickets for the Marlins versus the Giants. That's right, May 24th, 25th, and 26th. And they are a hot team, a good team with lots and lots of young talent. So check out the Marlins. Get your tickets now. Games are selling out quickly.
Hanley Ramirez, Mike Stanton. Ball one from Bumgarner to Iannetta. With Mortensen, the pitcher, on deck. Dexter Fowler, the leadoff man, due up third. Fastball at the knees for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers lost to the Mets 4-2. Justin Turner, young middle infielder, hit a ball deep to center that hit off the glove of Matt Kemp as he was racing back for it, and 2 runs scored on the play. The 2 runs that broke a 2-2 tie in the 8th inning there. And Francisco Rodriguez got the save. Andre Ethier went 0 for 4. His hitting streak has ended at 30. Quite a run for Andre Ethier.
Oh
man, where's that one? What's going on with that one?
Now, one thing about Bolin, I mean, he is an umpire who will ring you up on a call strike 3. And I think he just thought this was a bit up, and I don't know why.
A bit up what? A bit up is like too high above the knees or what?
A bit up his nose a little bit, apparently.
So now it's 3-2. I remember the Lefty Gomez, the late Lefty Gomez, who was from the Bay Area. Hall of Famer, great pitcher for the Yankees way back when. And he was at one of those off-season banquets. Wow. Come on. What's going on there?
Well, Bruce Bochy not happy. And Bellino dropping some stank eye on the skipper, and he's giving it right back to him. 2 times they go to this outside corner, and I don't think this was as good as the other one 2 pitches ago.
Here's Clayton Mortensen in a bunt situation. He struck out his first time, and that's ball 1. Anyway, they asked Lefty Gomez, who'd been watching a lot of games on television with that center field camera, so what do you think of the strike zone, Lefty? And he said, looks to me like the strike zone today is from a spot just a little bit above the belt to a spot just a little bit below the belt. I might have had a hard time with this particular strike zone. That's a foul, and into the crowd. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mortensen. Buster Posey gave chase.
Well, you know sometimes you're going to go out there and you're going to get a small strike zone, but you just hope that whatever gets set the first time through the line, it stays there. If it bounces around, that's what frustrates a pitcher. That's what frustrates a hitter.
Mortensen squares around. Tejada very shallow at third. Bunted foul again. Strike 2.
You know what? It's all part of the game. I mean, big strike zones, small strike zones, floating strike zones, inconsistent. I mean, it's all part of the game. And it's always the same for both teams. And that's why you don't hear many guys complain about it. They know they have to have a rapport with umpires. They don't want to embarrass an umpire in a newspaper. It's just part of the game.
1-2 to Mortensen. 2-2. Dexter Fowler, the leadoff man, is on deck.
Well, this is our 11th game here in San Francisco, and I still haven't learned all the new places to eat here at the ballpark. Doesn't seem like you've been here very often.
I was hoping you were going to show me a great place for barbecue. But that's ball 3.
Well, this becomes a big pitch. Well, they got a new place out there in center field, Pipkin's Barbecue. Have you tried it? It's pretty good. I would definitely recommend it, partner. Pipkin's Barbecue.
That's right out beneath the scoreboard out there.
Yep.
Bucks it foul, strike 3.
That was pitch number 80.
Andre Ethier, 30-game hitting streak, ended tonight. He went 0 for 4 with a walk. He finished 1 game back of Willie Davis' 31-game hitting streak, the longest in Los Angeles Dodgers history. And I guess here that it just says the longest in Dodgers history, Brooklyn or LA. So Ethier just misses Willie Davis' record. This could be 2, 1, and 2. And he threw a lot of pitches in that inning and then gets out of it just like that.
Lead here in the 6th inning. Now, with all the characters on this team, here's one guy we don't talk about that too often. Hensley Mullins, the Giants hitting coach, he will be going into outer space. We're not kidding here. Hensley will be part of a VIP group of space exploration people. They're going to go into outer space for his home country in the Caribbean of Curacao. If it all goes well, he'll go into outer space in 2014 as part of their VIP group and their space exploration program. We're not making this up. Gentlemen, back up to you.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. I asked him about it, and he said that they'd invited him to do it, and he says he really doesn't know any of the details. I said, well, do you have to go into training for it, or what all is entailed? And he said he really hadn't heard all of that stuff yet. There's the ball too high. He did say that when he was invited to do it, he then called Brian Sabian, told him about it, and asked for permission to be able to do it. That's a ball inside, and it's 2-0 to Pat Burrell facing Mortensen. He said that Brian Sabian gave him permission, but sort of grudgingly. Tried to talk him out of it.
Well, Hensley has to go. He's in charge of the iPod.
Yank foul over toward the dugout. Wait, is that another one toward Billy Hayes?
Yeah,
they're all going after him.
Yeah, they're picking on Billy Hayes tonight. And they're getting on him, too. Nobody's sitting next to him.
He moved. He moved from his one spot where I guess he thought it was safer.
They made him move.
2-1 the count.
Now it's Morton's turn to stare into Bellino, the umpire, as if to say, where was that? Well, he hasn't given that pitch all night long. And that's all you can ask for from any umpire.
Again, took something off. It looks like he's got a couple of speeds in that changeup sometimes, doesn't it?
That looked like the batting practice speed between the fastball and the changeup. It did.
3-2. And then look at that. Pat Burrell taking that changeup for ball 4. We saw him do that several times on the Jimenez splitter last night when he got 3 walks.
Well, Giants Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota is the most fuel-efficient, full-line auto manufacturer, period.
Darren Ford goes over to first base. He's going to be a pinch runner for Pat Burrell as we take a look at the lighthouse out there on Yerba Buena Island, not far from AT&T Park, home of the world champion Giants. Tug going by. See the new eastern span still under construction. Here is Nate Sherholtz. We'll see if Darren Ford can get a jump here and try and steal a bag.
Well, this is the ideal situation to bring in Darren Ford. I mean, you get a leadoff walk from Burrell, and you put Ford over there at first base to start the inning off. I mean, this is when he really can utilize his talents, and I guarantee right now Mortenson's feeling him.
And Ford dives back to the bag.
Now Ford, like a lot of great base stealers, I mean, he'll get off a lead and it'll be a one-way lead, and it's a one-way lead. When on the first move that Mortensen makes, he's going to go back to first. All he wants to do is see how much lead he can get. He has no intention to steal off that first pitch. He just wants to see how much lead he can get. Then he'll stretch off, and if he's going to go, he'll have a one-way lead, but it'll be to second base. And when he steals, he'll go on first move.
Now Roberto Kelly talking to Ford, maybe giving him a little benefit of his experience, telling him what he may have seen here. From Clayton Mortensen. 2-0, the Giants ahead. Left center, that's the wrong place to hit it though. Out toward that notch where the left field wall meets the center field wall. 404 feet to that spot, and it fell short. One away. This was last year, pennant race game, September the 1st, and Darren Ford with some very exciting, aggressive base running. That ball got what, 4 or 5 feet away from Olivo, the catcher. He took off for third, and then Olivo, in his haste to throw him out, threw it into left field, and Ford jumped up, scored what proved to be the winning run in that game. The Giants won it 2-1. That was a Lincecum-Jimenez matchup. The Giants' whole rotation, but especially Lincecum, had really struggled in the month of August, and that really set the tone for the stretch run for the Giants.
That's our Lincoln Smart move. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com.
So Ford trying to make something happen here against the Rockies again. Mortensen. There goes Ford. The throw to second. And he's got it stolen. Ionetta's throw a little bit offline, and Amezaga had all he could do just to keep that throw from going into center field.
Now the Rockies did all they could do to try and prevent Ford from getting to second base. A 1-2-2 unload time for Mortensen, and Ionetta right around 2 seconds with his unload time from the time he touched it to the time it got to his middle infielder. But here's the reason why it was successful.
Well, he ended up dropping the ball anyway. 1 strike to count to Tejada. Now a runner in scoring position. Tejada, things have not gone well for him so far as a Giant. He's hitting only 148 with runners in scoring position. He's got one out there now. Ford back to the bag. This is a spot where Tejada has the pitcher up next. Paulino warming up again in the Colorado bullpen. The Giants ahead 2-0 here in the 6th. Tejada has grounded out and been safe on an error by Lopez. Over to left center. Fowler. Ford's going to challenge him. And he makes it easily. The throw way offline.
Well, that was 90 feet for fun for Darren Ford. And really what you're hoping for there is just an errant throw. You try to draw a hard throw from your middle infielder, or your middle outfielder rather. And I don't think there's any contest that even if Fowler had made the best throw of his life, he was going to get forward. I think he would have been better off just hitting the cutoff man and leaving it at that. But Ford did exactly what he was supposed to do, draw a hard throw from the center fielder.
Now Bumgarner. Giants ahead 2-0. Giants 2 hits, 9 at bats with runners in scoring position tonight. And the slider misses, ball 1. Pitch number 91 thrown by Mortensen. Bumgarner was grounded out and had a sacrifice bunt. Right to third. And Lopez gets him. So much for the Giants here in the 6th. Ameziga, then Gonzalez and Tulowitzki coming up.
Well, Tuesday, May 24th is the Giants Carnival at the ballpark. Your special event package will include a ticket to the game versus the Marlins, entrance to the pregame Carnival celebration, and Andres El Gigante Torres bobblehead will be given out. And the only way you get that is if you get the special ticket offer. Partial proceeds benefit the SF Cultural Arts Traditions Foundation. If you want tickets, go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Here is Ameziga trying to get on base in front of the power. Right after him, it's Gonzalez and then Tulowitzki. Bumgarner misses up and away. Ball 1. Ameziga has twice struck out. Darren Ford, after acting as a runner for Pat Burrell, now in center field, and Rowan moves from center over to left field. That's a strike. Bumgarner has allowed only 2 hits in the game. He's walked 2. There's been an error committed behind him, but the Giants have turned 3 double plays back of Bumgarner. Right center field. There's Ford and Sherholtz. It's Sherholtz trying for the diving catch. Did keep the ball in front of him. A single for Ameziga. He does indeed get himself aboard. And now you've got the possible tying run coming up.
Well, A for effort. The ball was slicing away from Ford. No chance for him. It was going to be Sherholtz and Sherholtz alone. Now, once you make the commitment to try and catch it, you can't let that ball get by. He can't see where Ford is. His concentration is to the ball. So a nice job of keeping it in front and keeping Ameziga at first base. It's a tough play.
So here is Carlos Gonzalez, the man who hit 34 home runs last year. He is 0 for 2 in this game. Base hit to left field. First ball swinging. Gonzalez, who had grounded out twice, is aboard here. And Bumgarner's in a spot again where he'd like to get a double play grounder. He's been able to get those almost every time he's needed one.
Now Dave Rigetti going to come out and stall and let his bullpen get a chance to get going. Mark Gardner heading down. It's going to be Ramon Ramirez who gets loose. He's probably one of the guys that can get ready quick. The big help for Bumgarner tonight has been the double play ball. 3 times he's been able to turn the Rockies back because of the double play. And that's the beauty. I mean, up until this inning, only 2 balls were hit into the outfield. Those were the other 2 hits that the Rockies have. Everything else has been on the ground. And he right now needs another ground ball hit at an infielder off the bat of Tulowitzki.
But for the Rockies, in a spot like this where they need some offense, this is just the man they want to have up there. Troy Tulowitzki leads them in home runs. Whoa. Curveball missed somewhere, and also no swing. On appeal, Jim Joyce making the ruling. 1 ball and no strikes. Todd Helton on deck. The Rockies have their top hitters up right now. 2 men on, nobody out. Double play ball. And a wild throw. They get nobody out. The throw back to third, and just back ahead of the tag is Amezaga. The ball backed up at second by Sanchez. A double play ball right back to Bumgarner, and he throws it away.
That's going to be an error on Bumgarner. And he had all the time in the world. He sets his feet, everything looks balanced there, and he throws way wide of Fondo. It almost looks like he was trying to throw the ball to Sanchez.
Well, when you see it from that angle especially, it's hard to believe that he wasn't trying to do that. So 3 times he's gotten the double play ball when he needed it. This time he got one, but they do not turn it. Strike 1 to Todd Helton. A big error, and it was Bumgarner himself who committed the error. But I think that was it. It may well have been a bit of confusion on Bumgarner's part as to who was going to be covering. A ball and a strike.
Boy, that almost handcuffed Posey. See him take the glove off. He caught that ball in a soft spot in his hand. That rung him up.
Todd Helton, a .352 career hitter with the bases loaded. Giants in double play depth. Back out of play. Strike 2.
Now Bumgarner's reaching back. 95 fastball, and I mean perfect location at the knees outside corner.
Runzler, the lefty. Ramirez, the right-hander, in the Giants' pen. The Rockies have their shot here in the 7th inning, down 2-0. 3 men on, nobody out. Helton is lined out to the second baseman and struck out. Jose Lopez on deck. Cutter down and away, and Posey had to be very lively back there in that one, well wide of the plate. 2-2 the count.
Well, they have definitely established the knee-high location in these 4 pitches that he's showing Helton in this at-bat. And remember the last at-bat. He struck out Helton in a 1-2 count above the hands with a high fastball.
Base hit to left field. That is going to tie the ball game. Amezaga scores. Gonzalez scores. Tulowitzki to third, and Rowan holds Helton to a single. And it is 2-2, and still nobody out for the Rockies.
And it's almost automatic when he goes to left field that way. And that's going to be the end of the night for Madison Bumgarner.
Ramon Ramirez, the right-hander, will be summoned with a string of right-handers due up, and we'll be right back Hamilton's two-run single, which also knocked Madison Bumgarner from the game. And here is Ramon Ramirez, and he inherits a tight spot. Tulowitzki at third, Helton at first, and Lopez the hitter. The middle infield double play depth. Fouled off the right field line on that high fastball at 93 miles an hour. Lopez is grounded to second and singled. Well, an error ended up being a key play in Bumgarner's loss last Monday in Washington, and tonight his own error, a key play in this inning. A double play ball hit right back to him by Tulowitzki with a couple of men on, and they ended up getting nobody out. Tejada goes home. Posey waiting, and he tags out Tulowitzki. The Giants middle infielders were looking for the double play, but the corner infielders were set to go home and keep the run from scoring.
Well, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had all the time in the world, and Tulowitzki knew that he was a dead duck. So they do get the out at home, and more importantly, the back runners have to stay in the back bases. Four stays in order. Now one pitch can get you out of the inning and minimize the damage.
Ryan Spilborghs has walked and grounded into a double play, and it's 0-1.
Nasty little cut there. You can see it from this angle. It's not much break to that cut, but it's late. It's deceptive. You look at it, you see the rotation on it is the rotation of a fastball. Nothing really leads you to believe you're going to get that cut at the end. You see a lot of swing throughs on that pitch.
In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, good block by Posey, but you don't want to give up that 90 feet right now. You want to keep that force where it's at. So every ball in the dirt, you've got to keep that ball out in front of you. Job well done. Everybody has to hold their bag.
Helton, the possible go-ahead run at second base. Lopez at first. Fontenot at short. Sanchez at second. Pulled in a bit. Double play depth. That one just disappeared.
Straight down break.
One and two. Bumgarner 6 innings plus in his performance. 2 runs, 5 hits allowed. Those 2 runners belong to him as well. Struck him out.
Big strikeout. And you can see Bumgarner cheering his teammate on. So Ramirez, I mean, just pretty much stays with the same pitch. Cut fastball, and Spilborghs way out of balance, reaching, and a swing through C and a big second out.
This is Iannetta, 2 down in the 7th inning. Now remember, Ramirez inherited runners at first and third with nobody out. And the Giants middle infielders would have conceded a run for a double play ball. 0-1, the fastball, blew it right by him.
Just pounding that outside knee-high location. That time with 93, you get ahead with a quick 0-1, and now you have that luxury of being able to go to your cut out of the strike zone. You got 2 pitches that you don't have to come to the middle of the zone with, and you hope Iannetta chases.
Jonathan Herrera has come out on deck with the pitcher's spot due up next. Oh man, made him look bad on that breaking ball.
And when you see a big league hitter break his swing down mid-swing, you know that he's fooled by the late movement, and that's the beauty of Ramirez's cutter. It's late, it's explosive, and it just impressed Iannetta.
2 on, 2 down, 2 runs in, 2 strikes to count. Just got a piece of it.
Well, he did well to fight that off. That was a perfect pitch. That's how you take advantage of an 0-2 count. You do not want to make a mistake up and in the strike zone where he can hurt you. You aim for a corner, let your movement fall out of the strike zone away, and let him chase.
Ramirez, a former Rocky. Just off the outside.
Paralysis fastball. You can't execute the paralysis fastball any better than that. You set the glove completely off the plate, and you try and hit your catcher between the knees. Bang, right there. And some umpires give, some hitters will chase.
Strike 3 called. And what a performance by Ramon Ramirez to get out of the jam.
Giants and Rockies tied up in the 7th inning at 2-2. We have some progress now, some updates on the Giants' injuries, really a handful of injuries to begin the season. We start with Barry Zito. Yesterday and today, Zito working out a little here on the infield and in the outfield. First time in his career has been on the disabled list with a foot injury. Pablo Sandoval also with his hand surgery. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. And then Andres Torres with an Achilles injury. He continues to rehab this weekend in Fresno. He'll rejoin the Giants any day now. So an update and some progress for the Giants' laundry list of injuries, gentlemen.
All right, and they're hopeful of getting DeRosa and Andres Torres back from the disabled list as early as Tuesday. Torres has been down there already for a couple of days as the new pitcher, Matt Belisle, throws ball 1 to Rowand and a fastball right in there for a strike. So Belisle, the second Rockies pitcher, you see his numbers. A high hop for Tulowitzki, 1 away.
Belisle, he's got a pretty good sinker, and if the ball elevates around the belly, it gets fade, so he gets movement wherever it is. The velocity will be low 90s with a slider and a curveball to complement it.
Javier Lopez, the left-hander, warming up in the Giants bullpen. Colorado has action in its bullpen as well, back of Belisle as Freddie Sanchez stands in. A strike on the inside with a slider. Freddie has done well against Belisle. 11 hits in 26 career at bats, .423 average. But late on that fastball, it's 0-2 very quickly here. Freddie is singled, flied out deep to right center, and doubled home a run. But he's 2 for 3. Matt Reynolds, a left-hander, up in the Colorado bullpen. A ball and 2 strikes now to Freddie Sanchez. There's Matt Reynolds. 2-2 the score, last of the 7th. Fastball fouled out of play off to the right. 41,611. A sellout crowd here at AT&T Park. The 11th consecutive sellout to start the Giants' home schedule here in 2011.
Crowds have been fabulous.
And he hung that curveball, but fouled out of play off the right field side.
Yeah, he was not fooled on that at all. He had all of his weight in his back foot on that swing. Kentucky Derby earlier today, and the horse did not finish Made it way to the ball game, though.
Tulowitzki. 2 down.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Ford, the right choice for California. See your California Ford dealer or visit yourcaliforniaford.com today.
Cruising on the bay. Beautiful vessel out beyond McCovey Cove. Having a look at AT&T Park. The left-handed hitting Fontenot coming up, and that left-hander in the bullpen, Matt Reynolds, has been summoned into the game by manager Jim Tracy. 2 down, nobody on in the 7th. Game tied at 2. Fontenot coming up when we return. At 2, last of the 7th, and here's Matt Reynolds to face Fontenot, and he misses with a big curveball. Ball 1. Fontenot has gone 0 for 3, grounded out to second, lined out to first, and popped out to third. Outfield straightaway for him. Fastball, a strike.
See the numbers for Matt Reynolds. 14th time he's come in. 12 strikeouts against 2 walks in 8 innings. Just 7 base runners allowed. Good stuff. Low 90s fastball with a couple different types of breaking ball.
That's along the left field line. It's in there. Gonzalez misses it. Fontenot will stop at second with a double. I think he would have had a double anyway.
Boy, stay hot. And that's the hit you're looking for with 2 outs. Put yourself in scoring position. Big breaking ball from Reynolds. He stays in there. Good solid front side. Really getting great coverage on the outer half. Not trying to pull it, going with it, slicing it away from Carlos Gonzalez, who had none chance to get to it. And once he bobbles, it's an easy take a second for Fontenot. I think he was thinking second base right, but could go anyway.
So now Posey's up with Huff behind him. They're going to walk Posey intentionally and go after Aubrey Huff. Here's the first intentional wide one to Buster Posey, who will walk for the second straight trip. And ball 2. So they're walking Posey. They're just having to pick their poison here, I guess. And obviously neither one of these guys is a hot hitter right now, so they'll just play the percentage against the lefty. Although Aubrey Huff has hit much better so far this year against left-handed pitching than he has against the righties. He's hitting .333 against the lefties.
And against righties?
Don't ask.
148. So I really believe that they're playing into Aubrey Huff's hand. But you know what? You're talking about a different guy. A week ago, he was pulling off everything. He was getting 0 plate coverage. Now he's got a much stronger front shoulder. He's getting good plate coverage middle away. But he'll tell you when he's swinging bad, he wants to see a lefty, especially a hard throwing lefty, because it forces that front shoulder to stay locked and that back shoulder to stay high.
Well, Reynolds, conversely, has actually done better. And it's just a small sampling this early in the year. But so far this year, he's done better against righties than he's done against lefties, including Fontenot's double. In this game, lefties now 6 hits in 23 at bats against Reynolds, so hitting about 260 or so against him. Righties have hit below 200. So Aubrey Huff, who has flied out, double to right, and been called out on strikes, comes up. 2 men on, 2 men out. The Giants, who've had only 2 hits in 10 at bats, with a runner at second or third or both in this game. 2-2. On 1, the slider.
Well, that's a good opening first pitch right there. I think he may have done him a favor showing him a strikeout pitch first.
Fontenot, the possible go-ahead run at second. Posey at first. Moves him off the plate with a fastball. Each team with 5 hits. Giants have made a couple of errors. The Rockies have made an error. Each team has scored 1 unearned run. Darren Ford, by the way, is on deck. Pat Burrell out of the game now. And he went back to that breaking ball, and again Huff went after it, fouling this one. It's 1-2. Giants 2, Rockies 2. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network. Giants had a run in the first, a run in the fifth, and a 2-0 lead, but the Rockies have tied it with 2 here in the 7th. The Giants trying to go back ahead. Struck him out. And 3 sliders got it done. 2 men stranded. On to the 8th inning. Still tied.
Now for the save of the game, brought to you by ING Direct. Save your money, member FDIC. Well, it was Ramon Ramirez came in with a first and third, nobody out situation, got a ground ball from Jose Lopez. Then he strikes out Ryan Spilborg and then strikes out Chris Iannetta. And the Rockies do not score again, and the score stays tied. If you saw the reaction from Madison Bumgarner, that is some big league relief. And now the Giants will hand the ball to Javier Lopez. And these are the numbers for Lopez. In 15 games, he has been spectacular. 12 base runners in 11 innings with 7 strikeouts.
Jonathan Herrera, the pinch hitter for Reynolds. Strike one. Herrera, switch hitter, and he's usually in there at second base. He has been excellent. A very high on base percentage, .295 average, and a .410 on base percentage. 1-1 the count. And that's what they'd like to see him do right here. Just get on base with the top of the order coming up. Fowler on deck. Amezaga due up third, and then the power after that. 2-2 in the 8th. Did not get that low one, and the count is 2-1. Matt Lindstrom, a right-hander, is up in the Colorado bullpen now. A foul ball up the first base side, right by Glenn Allen Hill toward the bullpen.
Didn't look like Glenn Allen Hill was too enthusiastic about bending over and catching that one. Hands could get a little chilly on a night like tonight. Bay Area kid from Santa Cruz.
I noticed that lack of enthusiasm, though. That's a foul back out of play, 2-2.
Well, it's tough to make a play when you got both hands tucked in firmly beneath your belt. It is a little chilly.
That's a base hit to right field. So Herrera leads off the inning with a single to right, and the Rockies have something going already here in the 8th. And Sergio Romo heads down to the Giants bullpen, a right-hander.
Well, Comcast Sportsnet has complete Giants coverage on Sportsnet Central every night at 10:30 p.m. Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports. Check it out.
Dexter Fowler has grounded a short, singled, and was then thrown out trying to steal, and he's grounded into a double play.
Up on situation here for the Rockies. Jim Tracy's really got a couple of options. Pretty good speed with Herrera at first base. I mean, they could straight steal, they could hit and run, or they could bunt. And those are the three options. Or, I mean, you can bunt and run, I guess. Fourth option.
Herrera has 4 steals for the year. There's the bunt, and bunted foul. Two to 2 in the 8th inning. Amezaga on deck. Well, last night the Giants came from behind in the late innings. 2 in the 8th to tie the game, and then the winner in the 9th. Now the Rockies trailing into the late innings. They have tied it with a 2-run 7th inning. Fowler was already showing bunt. Herrera with Huff on the bag with him at first. Giants have turned 3 double plays in this game, but it was a double play that they did not turn that has been huge here in this game. Stepped off the slab and then short-armed it over to first. Herrera safely back. The double play ball we're talking about was a ball hit right back to Madison Bumgarner, and he threw to the wrong man at second base. Not the man covering, but the man backing up. Fowler showing bunt already. Fowler so far does not look that good at this particular aspect of the game.
I mean, there's a lot of guys who are leadoff hitters that will bunt for a base hit, but when they're asked to be a sacrifice bunter, they don't do a very good job of it. I mean, there's 2 different techniques. Totally different technique of trying to sacrifice bunt as opposed to drag bunting or push bunting. And he didn't look very comfortable. I doubt they'll keep it on here with 2 strikes.
Well, the Giants' own Andres Torres is a guy who can bunt for a hit and will do that, but oftentimes has much more difficulty getting down a bunt in a sacrifice situation. So why not just bunt for the hit and try to move him up and beat it out at the same time? Bunted at and missed. Strike 3, and then he punches the bat.
Well, I guess it is the bat's fault. But I was a bit surprised they kept it on. So the Giants catch a break here.
Yeah, this is not a pitcher who's not a hitter, who's really the only thing really you hope for from a pitcher is that he can get, or most pitchers anyway, get a bunt down. But this is a hitter who's been a good leadoff man, a .388 on base percentage.
Yeah, you don't want to lunge at a bunt. You want that, let that ball get to you, and that was where he made his mistake.
Ameziga into the hole and off the glove of Fontenot. Fontenot unable to handle that one.
That's a base hit. It had set Fontenot in double play depth, so he was pinched over to the bag. Now this really was the straightaway shortstop. Low to his back. And I'm not sure if they would even have been able to get an out once he got off his legs. Had he come up cleanly with that, the throw would have had to have been from the knees. And with Herrera's speed, I don't think they would have had a play. So a hit all the way. Kind of a C&I ground ball, but it sets the stage for the beef in the heart of the Rockies lineup. So it's hold your breath time.
Rockies have 7 hits in the game, and 5 of them have come in these last 2 innings. The last 10 hitters sent up by the Rockies have had 5 hits plus 1 reached on an error.
Jeremy Affeldt, the lefty, has joined Sergio Romo in the bullpen. So lots going on here.
Carlos Gonzalez 1 for 3. His single fueled that rally in the 7th. Ball 1. 117 RBIs last year for this man, Carlos Gonzalez. 1 for 6 lifetime, however, against Javier Lopez. Javier Lopez, nickname in high school, Night Train.
The Night Train. Ooh. Just a wee bit low. Well, you think back to last September, I don't think there were 2 hotter guys on the planet than Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki. Troy Tulowitzki had Babe Ruth-like numbers in September.
Yeah, or especially the first half. What was it? The first 15 games in the month, he had 10 home runs. 2-0, big pitch here to a dangerous hitter. And he chased it. He chased ball 3. So it's 2-1 now.
Yeah, getting a little greedy on a 2-0, looking for the fastball, getting it, chasing it down below the zone. Javier Lopez will get sink below the knees. And it paid off for him right there.
2-1 the count. Troy Tulowitzki on deck. 1 out. 2-2.
Speed pitch, get him out front. And that pitch will definitely make a hitter step out of the box, I think, and that's what's happening with Gonzalez.
Herrera at second, Ameziga at first. 1 out. Slow chop. He only plays to first for Sanchez. Huff with the put out. But Herrera goes to third. Ameziga to second. Now first base is open with Tulowitzki coming up, with Todd Helton behind him, a left-handed hitter.
Well, that's going to keep Javier Lopez in the game. They'll walk Tulowitzki now and set it up for a Lopez-Helton match.
And Buster Posey gives the signal out to Lopez. You saw Bruce Bochy signal to Posey, but that's what he wanted. He almost threw that one over the outside corner. So this is going to set up the Helton Javier Lopez battle. Todd Helton, who got the 2-run single against the left-hander Bumgarner that tied the game in the 7th. And he is not a guy that anybody usually likes to see up there against any kind of pitching, with men all over the base paths.
Well, he's already had a great at bat against the lefty, against Bumgarner in the 7th, when he went the opposite way with a 2-strike count and cashed in. I mean, he's just has got as strong a front side as a lefty against left-handed pitches as anybody I've ever seen. He's just had that his whole career. And here is that at bat we're talking about. I mean, that is not a hanger. I mean, granted, the target was up and in. That's where Posey won it, but it still went down around the knees outside corner. I mean, that's not a hanger from Bumgarner. Just great hitting from a great hitter.
So 2 runs scored on that base hit, and that's our score still 2-2 in the 8th. The bases are loaded again for Helton. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Helton with 1 hit in 5 career at bats against Javier Lopez. Herrera, Amezaga, Tulowitzki, the runners. Fouled off the glove of Posey. A ball and a strike. Crowd is very tense right now. The veteran Todd Helton at the plate with 3 men on, 2 men out. 2nd inning in a row. They've had to face Helton with the bases loaded. Helton got Bumgarner, knocked him out of the game with his 2-run 7th inning single. All 3 runners ready to run at the crack of the bat with 2 down. Softly hit. Lopez picks it up. He'll take it himself. He gets out of a tight spot. To the last of the 8th. 2-2. And the under 500 calorie charbroiled turkey burgers. New at Carl's Jr. Rockies 2, Giants 2. Giants with single runs in the 1st and 5th innings. The Rockies a 2-run 7th on the Helton bases loaded single. Madison Bumgarner deserved better. 6 innings plus, 2 runs, 1 earned on 5 hits. And again, not much offensive support for Bumgarner. And now, as we pick up the action, it's the last of the 8th inning. 2-2 the score. Darren Ford now against the new Rockies pitcher, Matt Lindstrom. Hard throwing right-hander. Starts him with a slider. Ford up for the first time. He entered as a pinch runner for Pat Burrell in the 6th inning.
The numbers for Lindstrom has been lights out. ERA 0.69.
The slider. In a way, it's almost like if I were Jim Tracy, I might want my guy to throw some of that 99-mile-an-hour stuff and see if he can handle that before I start spinning sliders right in the middle of the strike zone to him.
Well, Lindstrom knows, though. I mean, when you're up there hitting off of him, you're going to be looking fastball because of his high velocity. And he's trying to steal strikes with that slider.
Look out. Rockies have the real extreme defense on the corners. The third baseman, Lopez, is right on the line. And Helton very close to the line at first base. Not quite as extreme with the right-handed hitter up there as Lopez is on the third base side.
Well, they're pounding him hard with breaking balls, and I think that may be the scout report too on Darren Ford, that he's not a very good breaking ball hitter, but he is a good fastball hitter. And now Ionetta wants a fastball.
And he fought it off. 96 miles an hour. 1-2. Lindstrom pitched last night in the 7th inning and allowed 1 hit, had 1 strikeout, but the Giants did force him to throw 23 pitches while he was in there. Slider just got a piece of that one. Lindstrom also pitched briefly the night before, so he's working for the 3rd straight day. Remember the Rockies, when they blew their 9th inning lead Thursday in Arizona, they ended up using 6 of their relievers in that extra inning game, and then last night used 3 more. And Lindstrom has worked now in all 3 of these games in the last 3 days. Fastball running up and in at 97.
Boy, yeah, that's an explosive pitch going right up above your hands. You're up there to protect mode, and you're going to try and start your swing early anyway, and he just explodes one up there, and he almost walked into that. That almost hit him.
Two and 2. Fastball along the right field line. Spilborghs, 1 away. Not a bad job though by Darren Ford against a guy who's got great stuff.
He doesn't like to hear the stories that he's not a good hitter. He thinks he is a good hitter, and he was lighting it up down in Fresno before he got the call up, as you see Wilson finishing off in his pitches.
Now Nate Scherholtz. Last night in the 8th inning, Nate came up with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 down, and he hit the double that tied the game. The slider for a ball. Scherholtz is 0 for 3 tonight. Two to 2 the score here in the last of the 8th. That one exploded, had a little movement running away. 2-0. Scherholtz has a lot of power. The Rockies saw it firsthand. He planted one on the 3rd deck in right center nearly 3 weeks ago when the Giants were in Denver. And then he launched one deep into the bullpen in right center in New York this week. High, lazy fly, shallow left center. Gonzalez, 2 down. And Scherholtz is 0 for 4. Now Tejada. Tejada is 0 for 3, although he has reached on an error by Lopez and scored a run for the Giants, one of their 2 runs. They got one in the 5th, knocked in by Posey. Rather, one in the 1st knocked in by Posey, one in the 5th knocked in by Sanchez. That was Tejada scoring. 1 ball, no strikes. Tejada had a base hit to right field against Lindstrom last night and is now 2 for 2 lifetime against him. Again, the Rockies with the extreme defense on the corners. That'll go out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
96 on the outside corner. Cannot pull that pitch.
The Rockies hugging the lines to protect against the extra base hit possibility. Some managers like it that way. They like to have the guy real extreme right on the lines. Other managers like to shade more in that direction. Did he swing? An appeal? Well, no appeal needed. The plate umpire Bellino made the call himself. Strike 2. I guess the plate umpire always makes the call. In this case, he had made the call that he had swung. If he ruled that he had not swung, you can appeal that if you're the defense. Another base hit for Tejada against Lindstrom, and very similar to the one he had last night against him.
Well, they keep patting him on that side of the plate without trying to establish that strike with the fastball in the inside corner. I mean, he's just going to do that. I mean, he has had zero luck for great at-bats the last week, and now they're starting to fall. Not a whole lot of lower body, just let your hands do thinking and just go away with the location. Let the ball get deep, take it to right. Aubrey Huff appreciates a good at bat.
Cody Ross now. And the Rockies are conferencing in the mound with Ionetta, the catcher, out to talk to Lindstrom. Cody Ross has seen Lindstrom a little bit. They both used to be Florida Marlins. Cody, one of the heroes last night. His only at bat in the game. He led off the ninth inning with this double.
That was a great at bat, and that was not a hanger. That was a fantastic pitch.
Ball one. Cody knows Lindstrom from their days as teammates with the Marlins. Cody's only ever had one at bat against him in an actual game, though, and is 0 for 1. Along the right field line, foul. Handled very cleanly by the ball dude.
Yeah, Brad Holsworth. Nice pick. One of our younger ball dudes.
Cody Ross, who had an excellent spring until he got hurt. He's had a hard time getting it going since coming off the disabled list here in the regular season. As that slider in the dirt, Ross put up a stop sign for Tejada's benefit. Ross hitting only .217, but last night he got that double. That's his first extra base hit. Cody's got lots of power. The whole world learned that, if they hadn't already known it, in October baseball last year. 2 homers in a game against Roy Halladay, no less. Still 2-2, and even with a runner at first, that third baseman Lopez is right on the line on the third base side for the right-handed hitter. Big holes open all around the infield, with both of the corner infielders right on the line. That's Helton at first base, hugging the line because he's holding against the runner. Outfield is deep all the way around. Tejada back to the bag.
Now Dexter Fowler, the center fielder for the Rockies, playing deep. With 2 outs, you know that Tejada's going to get a good jump on contact, and if it finds a gap, the Rockies trying to prevent the score from first base. That's why they're sinking their outfielders 3 or 4 steps deeper than they normally would.
Tejada runs. And a great save by Amezaga. Tejada steals the bag. And Amezaga with a diving save to keep it from going into center field. Tejada's first steal as a Giant.
Oh, and he had a great jump. Not a very good unload time either from Lindstrom. A lot of hard throwers. They just don't want to give up motion because they think they're giving up stuff, and they, because of that, are slow out of stretch. 1-3-3 time for Lindstrom. So Tejada, to his credit, took advantage of it. That changes everything.
Now base hit could put the Giants ahead here in the 8th inning. And they're no longer hugging the foul lines. 3-2. High in the air to center. Fowler back. Squares up at the edge of the track. 10th man left on for the Giants. On to the 9th inning. 2-2.
Well, the Giants are back on NBC Bay Area Friday the 20th at 7 p.m. for the Giants and the A's right from here at AT&T Park. And all month long, May NBC Bay Area's Jessica Aguirre and Raj Mathai bring you a special series of in-depth investigative reports. Discover the Bay Area's most compelling stories weeknights at 11 on NBC Bay Area.
NBC Bay Area news anchor Raj Mathai with us. I'm John Miller and Mike Krukow from AT&T Park. The Giants 2, the Rockies 2. And a pinch hitter, Ian Stewart, batting for Jose Lopez as Brian Wilson, the Giants closer, takes the hill. It's 0-1. Last night, Wilson took the mound in the 9th inning in a tie ball game and retired 3 in a row and threw only 7 pitches in doing it.
Now, mechanically, he's really a very compact pitcher. Good motion to be able to repeat the stroke. And for the most part, I mean, he, like Cody Ross, are two guys trying to complete their spring training during the regular season because of injuries that they had during spring training. So because of it, Wilson's stuff was good, but he didn't have great command of it. Now he's starting to get it all back. When he's right, he'll corner pitch with everything like that. And that's a two-seam fastball at 96 miles per hour.
A new part of his repertoire this year.
Well, he said he's working on another new pitch. He may break out the split. I said, when are you going to break it out? He goes, you'll know when I do it. So, okay.
Strike 3 called on the inside. There it was again, and it drifted back and caught the corner.
Front door sinker, and again, I mean, this is a new toy. He did not even have this movement on the fastball last year. Started off and let it come right in there, and that's a pitcher's pitch. Caught nicely by Buster Posey. And he kind of earned it on the second strike.
Another pinch hitter now. We've seen Stewart. Stewart continues to struggle big time. Stewart now 3 for 38. Here is Seth Smith. He has not been struggling, hitting a solid .295. 2 homers, 13 batted in 88 at bats. But he has lots of power. Two to 2, 9th inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Little cutter down and in. The Rockies bullpen is busy with the closer Houston Street up in case they get the lead. I'm supposing, and also Felipe Paulino, a right-hander, also up. 2 right-handers up. That one came back, but not this time for Wilson. 2-0.
Just missed.
Street number 16 on the left. Paulino number 55. 2 to 2, 9th inning. Seth Smith pinch hitting for Spilborghs. Right there, outside corner, strike 1.
And that's how you take away a 2-0 advantage. The hitter sitting in a 2-0 count thinking he's in the driver's seat. When you nail location like that at 95, 96, I mean, you just take away that hitter's advantage. Nice pitch.
Outfield shaded a bit toward left against his left-handed hitter. Strike 2. That one at 96. With that movement coming back to the plate.
Smith, like Stewart, not in agreement. Again, a pitcher strike, but talk about a great 2-pitch sequence. 4-seam on the outside corner, get strike 1, comes back 2-seam and nail the inside corner. 2 different fastballs, 2 different movements, and 2 good strikes to even the count.
Down and in, 3-2. Seth Smith facing Brian Wilson here in the 9th.
I mean, he's got 4 looks now he can give you with that 2-seam fastball opposite his normal fastball. Then he's got the cutter, then he's got the slider. And he's absolutely fearless to throw any one of the 4 in a 3-2 count. And that was the cutter. And Seth Smith was not fooled. He was on it.
The wind, which was howling during batting practice, which was very strong when the game began and for most of the night, the wind now is very mild. Very little of it. 3-2. Caught by Fangino. That ball was blistered by Seth Smith, and Fangino was able to flag it down.
Well, Mike Fontenot, the littlest giant at 5'8", needed every one of those 5'8" inches to get up and web spear this bullet off the bat of Smith. And let's watch his effort. Nicely done.
He got taller.
He did. Had to.
2 down, and Iannetta. Iannetta 0 for 2 with a walk. Look out. Iannetta 2 for 4 in lifetime against Wilson, plus 3 walks. Wilson's only retired him twice in 7 previous matchups. 2-2, 9th inning. 2 down, nobody on. And the cutter. A ball and a strike.
And in a perfect location. Again, behind the count, 1-0. Throwing the cutter at the knees, let the movement fall below the zone. He gets the swing over from Iannetta. And Iannetta, you know, he's a guy who get greedy. He's got pop. Tie ball game like this, I mean, he net 1-0 count. He's swinging for bleachers.
He's got 4 home runs. He's second in the club in that category. Dangerous hitter. Jason Giambi out on deck. The cutter. 1-2. The Giants, by the way, looking ahead. Last of the night will have the top of their order coming up. Rowan, Sanchez, and Fontenot. Posey would be due 4th in the last of the 9th. The crowd on its feet now. 2 down. There's a bearded one. A young one. Rooting on Brian Wilson. Base hit. Now we just kind of hung in the middle of the strike zone. Hit number 8 for the Rockies. And Jason Giambi is going to come up. The veteran who has lots of power. Giambi, so far this year, only 3 hits in 20 at-bats, including a home run. He is 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. Giants put the shift on for him. Freddie Sanchez out into shallow right. The shortstop Fontenot behind second. Ball 1. Giambi 1 hit in 4 career at-bats against Brian Wilson.
There you see the wishbone defense, as Ted Robinson used to call it. Appropriately named. Since Giambi has come over to the Rockies, I don't remember him having a bad at bat.
2-0.
He's always going to work you. Very disciplined to the strike zone. Very short, quick, powerful stroke. That's the same swing he had when he first came to the big leagues, and he's maintained it his whole career. And if you miss up, he will make you pay. Still tons of power.
Two 2-0 the count to the dangerous Giambi. The outfield very deep toward left. At the knees. 2-1 now. Giambi has become a role player with the Rockies, extending his career, and you see he's had 6 pinch hit home runs in his career.
He is not in a hurry. He's a hitter that will control the rhythm of the at-bat.
Oh, not this time on that 2-seamer, and Wilson not happy about that call.
Reaching back, 97-mile-an-hour two-seam movement, and just missed a little inside. It's hard to get that type of velocity with a two-seam grip.
3-1. And he walked him. So Iannetta moves up. Giambi goes to first. And Dexter Fowler, the leadoff man, will try and become the RBI man. Fowler lined out to the center fielder last night against Brian Wilson. Giants bullpen is going to spring into action again. Dan Runsler, the left-hander, number 45, down to the pen. He was up earlier. 2 men on, 2 men out. That one didn't do anything. Stayed off the outside. Ball 1. Fowler 1 for 4 in this game. And he is 1 for 5 lifetime against Brian Wilson. Base hit could put the Rockies ahead. 9th inning. 2 on, 2 out. That's a strike.
Perfect backdoor cutter.
Wilson has thrown 22 pitches in this inning. He got the first 2 hitters, but then Iannetta singled to left. Giambi walked. That's a foul out of play. Got in on the hands. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fowler.
He just buried that 97-mile-an-hour fastball in his hands. You're right. He got in there good. And that's a swing where Fowler's going to feel that up his bat a little bit.
Everybody standing. Too high.
Perfectly placed. Tried to elevate. Change sight lines at 96 and a 1-2 count. Good strikeout pitch for Wilson.
Tense moments in the 9th inning. In a tie game. Up the middle. Fontenot has it. Throws him out. Two men stranded. Top of the order. Rowan, Sanchez, Fontenot coming up. It's tied at 2. There's that Giants World Series trophy cap, which I think is homemade. The Giants in a 2-2 tie with the Rockies. And here we go again. Last of the 9th inning, just as was the case last night. The Giants come up in a tie game, and they'll be facing that man, Felipe Paulino. Last night, Paulino threw only 12 pitches. He faced only 3 hitters. Ross doubled against him, and with one out, Sanchez singled Ross home, and the game was over. So for Paulino, he's looking for retribution. Aaron Rowan leads off. Look out. Tried the slider and missed badly with it. Rowan's been on twice tonight. Has walked and scored a run, singled. He's also struck out and grounded out. Ian Stewart stays in at third. Seth Smith stays in right. Left center field. Gonzalez cuts it off. Rowan with the big turn, and he'll hold it first with a leadoff single.
Well, that's how you want to get things started. Another two-hit night for Rowan.
Ian Stewart pinch hit for Jose Lopez, stays in at third. And Seth Smith pinch hit for Spielborgs and stays in to play right. Helton on the bag at first with Aaron Rowan. Rowan's been on base 3 times tonight, 2 hits and a walk, and he represents the possible winning run. Freddie Sanchez, and again they start to cheer. Took that fastball too low as he was showing bunt.
No guarantee that Bochy is going to stay with it, but again, the Colorado Rockies are very aggressive on the corners. And when you see crashing from Helton and you see crashing from Stewart, if they get in there too quick, Freddie Sanchez will have the ability to take it off himself.
He's not bunting. Base hit to left field. Rowan stops at second.
Now, I tell you, it's a great way to get a fastball. You're always taught that the fastball high is the hardest one to bunt. You show bunt on the first pitch, oftentimes that pitcher will come back in a 1-0 count and he'll give you a fastball. Bruce Bochy knows this. He lets him swing away. He finds a hole. And bang, bang, just like that, they're in business with runners at first and second, nobody out. Now, again, I mean, it's a bunt situation, but Bochy knows he's got a red-hot Mike Fondo up there. And Jim Tracy going to make a pitching change here.
Franklin Morales, a left-hander, is being summoned with the left-handed hitting Fontenot coming up. 2 men on, nobody out. We'll be right back. Fontenot, and there are so many questions, so many thoughts about what to do, but consider this. Morales, the left-hander, is in. Fontenot's 1 hit tonight was against a left-hander, Matt Reynolds, who came in expressly to face him, and he now for the season has 7 hits in 13 at-bats against left-handed pitching, including 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer. So if you're Bruce Bochy, what do you do?
Well, if you're Bruce Bochy, I don't think you bunt him. As hot as he's been, the success he's had against lefties. He's had 1 lifetime at bat against Morales, hit a triple.
Also, if he bunts and he succeeds, then they can walk Posey and go after Huff. He's bunting, and it's foul. He got a curveball.
It is the conventional play. Because if you bunt him, you bunt successfully, you're going to lose Posey. It's going to come down to Aubrey Huff with 1 out, the bases loaded. If everything goes down and everybody executes. But as we saw with Freddie Sanchez, even if a guy shows bunt the first pitch, don't expect it to be automatic the second pitch.
That infield is all moved around with Tulowitzki over behind the runner. Rowan at second. The left side is almost wide open. Look out! A wild pitch and a real wild one. Over to the Giants dugout on the deflection. No need to bunt now. And they may just go ahead and walk him now because everything changes in the last of the 9th inning with the possible winning run at third.
Well, this isn't even close. Iannetta had no chance. I mean, that was over the head of the umpire. And it almost was a 2-base wild pitch. Had there been a runner at first base, that may have been a two-base wild pitch. And you talk about a gift. Now that, as you said, John, changes everything.
Well, some managers will just immediately order an intentional walk. You've got to bring the infield in. The outfielders all have to come in to a spot where they feel they can catch a ball and keep that runner from third from scoring. But then you've got the right-handed hitting Posey up next. So they're going to go ahead and have the left-hander go after the left-handed hitter, Fontenot.
Now this is the pure strikeout situation for Morales.
Nobody out. A high drive. Right center. Very deep. Caught. And the ball game is about to be over. Rowan scores. And the Giants walk off with another win over the Rockies. 2 nights in a row. And Fontenot continues to swing the bat extraordinarily well against left-handed pitching.
Well, you go back and replay this. I mean, there was no imbalance at all in his swing. Very, very good, strong back leg throw into the ball. He crushed that thing. An easy score, and the Giants have taken the first 2 here. And the Rockies are walking off the field stunned.
And there aren't many ballparks in which that one wouldn't have been a 3-run walk-off home run.
Well, that's the balance. He sees it early, and he unloads on it. And you're right. Probably any other ballpark in this league except San Diego, and he's taking a round-trip 3-run homer.
He just needed to get it deep enough to make Smith go back, and Smith had to go way back. And the Giants have won it. Another thriller here at AT&T Park. And they are now 4-1 against the first place Colorado Rockies as they celebrate another dramatic win here at home for the 2nd night in a row.
John, thank you, alongside Mike Fontenot here. First of all, congratulations. The 2nd straight night you guys pulled it off in the bottom of the ninth.
Oh, it's fun baseball, isn't it? Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, Wilson came in and, we shoved it down there in the end. And, Rose started off for us, and Freddie got another big hit and, came back there.
It's a remarkable night for you. You had some tough times at shortstop, but then you bounced back in that top of the 9th inning, making 2 really solid plays. Tell us about it.
Well, that's what I'm doing out there. I'm just trying to make plays, try to keep the other team, in the dugout. So, got lucky enough to make a couple good plays and help the team there.
Do you think the season would go like this for you right now? You are off to a hot start, making some really timely hits and that sac fly tonight.
Well, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun. We've been battling as a team, and we're back home, and we're excited.
Pretty interesting for you here as collectively as this team. Pretty strange because you guys have been on the road for so long. When you're back here at home, you have all these pregame ceremonies. Finally, now you kind of get into your groove without all the pomp and circumstance. Well,
it's like you said. It's good to get in a groove. Everybody gets to get on their own, network there and get things done like they used to. So, it's been fun though. We've been coming out and getting a lot of things done. We had Willie Mays thing, and we can just get in our groove now.
Anything to say about the pressure of being defending World Series champions? You have a lot of sellout crowds, 11 straight sellouts here at home. Even on the road, you get a lot of Giants fans. You guys feeling that pressure?
Not really. I mean, we think it's a lot of fun. You come out to the ball game every day, and it's packed house. It's fun. They're cheering for us. I mean, he's some of the greatest fans, I've ever played for. So, I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, last question. How do you describe this night and really what's going on this weekend against the first-place Rockies?
Well, these are big games for us, Any point in the season, we're playing. They've been playing good baseball, and, we're trying to take it to them.
You having fun?
Yeah. Obviously.
All right, Mike Fontenot, congratulations tonight. Way to go so far.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike Fontenot, one of the heroes tonight. The Giants beat the Rockies 3-2. We're back in a moment to wrap things up. Stay with us.